Hey, fourth grade, today for Number Corner, you need to complete page 22 in your Number Corner book. This problem is very similar to the one that we completed earlier this week. We're going to see an example of how a student solved this problem, and we have to decide whether we agree with her or not. This is the problem that Alexis solved. There are 2 boxes of beads. Each box has 6 sections inside it. There are 15 beads in each section. How many beads are in the 2 boxes? And then it shows us how Alexis solved the problem. The question we need to answer is, do we agree with Alexis? And if we do, we need to explain why. But if we don't, we also need to explain why and show how we would correctly solve the problem. So before we go about looking at Alexis's work, let's underline the most important things in this problem. So we know that there are 2 boxes of beads. Please underline this with me as we go along. And we know that each box has 6 sections in it. Okay, so when I hear that, I immediately want to draw a picture because pictures really help me visualize what this problem is talking about. So first, I'm going to draw my 2 boxes. There's 1, and there's 2. Now, the other important piece of information that I learned is that each box has 6 sections inside it. So I'm going to split up the box into 6 sections. Here we go. Perfect. So I have 6 in each box. But it keeps going. There are 15 beads in each section. How many beads are in the 2 boxes? Or in other words, how many beads do we have all together? Okay. So if I know that there are 15 beads in each of these sections, I'm going to write it out just so I can visualize, and maybe it can help me solve the problem too. Here we go. Okay. In order to see if Alexis solved this problem correctly, it's important that we look at it and try to solve it on our own too, so we can see if her strategy matches our strategy. Okay? So let's figure out what she did. It looks like she multiplied 6 by 15. Why do we think she would have done that? I'll give you a hint. This 6 here, that represents the number of sections that she thought there were. Okay? And the 15, well, the 15 is the number of beads in each section. Okay? So the way she set up this problem is correct because when we hear that word each, we know that we need to multiply. Okay? She said there are 15 beads in each section and there are 6 sections. But I'm already seeing where this doesn't really add up. If I look at my visual here, I have 2 boxes with 6 sections in each. So if I counted up all of these sections, that means I don't just have 6, I have 12 sections. My handwriting's a little bad here when I have to draw it. Hopefully yours looks a little better. So already my answer is going to be something like this. I disagree with Alexis because she did not have the correct number of sections. I'll make this a little smaller so we can see it too. Here we go. That's going to be the beginning of our answer. We know that Alexis made a little mistake at the very beginning. But I also want to continue with what we know now. I want to continue with a strategy that she used because that strategy, that multiplication strategy, is great. She just didn't have the correct number of sections. So now that we do have that correct number of sections, instead of saying 6 times 15, our new problem will be 12 times 15. All right? And if we look at her work, we can see that she used the doubling and halving strategy. Okay? So to get from 6 to 3, she divided by 2. She halved the number. And then with the other number in the problem, you have to double it. Okay? So let's do the same thing with our new problem. So we are going to take half of 12. In other words, we're going to divide it by 2 into 2 equal sections. But that means that we have to double this number. This is a great strategy that makes it a little bit easier to solve multi-digit multiplication problems. So if I take half of 12, what would half of 12 be? If you were thinking 6, you are absolutely correct. So I know that half of 12 is 6. And if I double 15, 15 times 2 is the same as 15 plus 15. If I set it up like this, I end up with 30. Now, an easier problem for me to solve is 6 times 30. Okay? When I do this problem, 6 times 30, I can skip count by 30 6 times, kind of like Alexis did here. She skip counted by 30 3 times. All right? So I am going to start my skip counting. Here we go. Let's move it down here so we can see. All right, 30, 60. All right, that's 2 times. 90. What would be next? 120. 150. That's 5 times, but I need 6 times. And I end up at 180. All right, so when I skip counted by 36 times, our answer is 180. So to wrap it up, we know that Alexis, we disagree with Alexis because there are 180 beads, not 90. That is how we can show all of our work for that problem. Nice job, 4th grade.